What's going on, y'all? It's Greg with Greg Said It. Back at it again. Wonderful spring weather. Grass starting to grow. It's hot. Confuse the mess out of people. I'm telling you, we got at least a few more cold days. But yeah, that's how Atlanta roll. Been there, born and raised. But it's beautiful out here. The grass ready to grow. The animals coming out. And it's springtime. I got a special conversation here today. And you know, we kind of had some hints towards it, especially with that documentary. I really should call this Coach Prime Said It. You know, it's Greg said it, Coach Prime said it. Because, you know, I watched Reach the People recently, and, you know, Darius was doing this little podcast, and he had Dylan Edwards on there, he had Jordan Dominique, and they were talking, you know, just talking about last season. And they were just kind of letting out some things. And boy, why did they let out? What I saw it, and we didn't really talk. If I had my channel then, I probably would have talked about it. And I kind of see something similar, but he's not on there. What is his name? Mateo and Shadoze. When they first got to Colorado, they used to joke back and forth about what they used to do at their last school, how they beat each other. And I remember Shadoze made the comment, well, forget them, Houston, I'm at Colorado now. Because I guess their only common ground at that point in them first 2-3 weeks was talking about we beat y'all. And it's like, you know, one of the most disrespectful things you can do at a new school is wear your old school stuff. I knew Willie Gaines was out when I saw him wearing swag hoodies. Like all that paraphernalia they give you, all that apparel they give you at Colorado, and you wearing swag stuff, like you've been there a whole year. And that kind of bring me back to like last year this time. It's amazing. It's been a year. A lot has happened. And it feels like 2 years now. But I remember when those Colorado guys came over, those Louis bad guys, and then we say really wasn't Louis, but that was Louis then because they came with Coach Prime, his people. And it created that division. I ain't gonna lie to you. It created that old guys versus new guy thing, and they used to have these arguments on well off. I remember about we would have beat y'all, Jackson would have beat y'all, and it's like when we look back at it and you talk about division, that's not a good foundation. When you talk about not being unified, you can't unify like that. And that's why I really I hope they get in line with the line. I hope the line don't have a division, because we can easily see a repeat of that when the new line comes in. We the new line versus the old line. And it's like, if those guys stick around, they could resent you unless you want all of them to hit the portal. And that's not smart, because then that's a depth issue. Because you want to get rid of a guy, but then when you get hurt, who's going to come in? Like, I don't like the back and forth, you know, about Savion or Benson, Savion Washington or Khalil Benson, because you need both of them. Because clearly, when Savion got hurt last year, we ain't had nobody. He up there hobbling the rest of the year. He really should have been out for weeks. But he rushed back because we didn't have no depth. The line was in chaos. It was in turmoil. They were putting people all over the place. And we really didn't notice it. But you really paid attention. They had different guys in different positions because different guys kept getting hurt. And we didn't have Tyler Brown. We didn't have Connor. So a lot of the people we were wondering where they were at, they were either ineligible or hurt. And I was like, where this guy? Where this guy? Where that transfer? So all of these things go back to depth. You don't want to run off guys. But I just see that kind of like building that new versus old thing. And I kind of see it in what I'll show us. I don't really know how much more is behind the scene. But we know that division happened because I seen it, where they went back and forth about who's the best, who could have beat who. And they even kind of talked about it in his interview. Like, I think, was it Darius might even say it, I know we would have beaten them. So it's like that thing was deep. It was thick because you still talking about it. Like, you had Colorado a whole year. And it's like, why is that even important? I'm not knocking them. But I'm like, if you building a team, go figure that people wasn't hanging out. Go figure. Because somebody probably didn't like somebody, or somebody probably thought it was better than somebody. And again, that's why I don't want to see on the line. I don't want to see the new line coming. We taking y'all's spot. These folks might still be on the team. You don't want that resentment and that division between you. You don't want schisms and isms going on, because that's what hurt last year. It came out, we saw it. I mean, it is what it is. People were jealous of each other. People wanted to see each other. I want to see you fail. I'm not going to make it. I'm on the bench. I hope you mess up. That's not a team. And when you have stuff like that going on, I mean, that's just a bad thing, especially when things start going left. Now you got people on the bench like, I was better than him anyway. Why ain't not there? And there's no recovery. So you just see that team going down the hill, down the slippery slope. And the reason why I say it could be Coach Prime said it, because he said it. Remember, he said it. First couple games, they was winning, undefeated. And it was like, how many dogs you want to get? And he was like, I need about 7 more dogs, right? But he also would say things like, still got 70%, 80% people don't believe. And it was like, you don't believe in you winning? He was insinuating, he was saying it was already stuff going on. And it really didn't come out. And it kind of came out of the documentary. And now you're interviewing people on the back end. And you see how everything played out. That they really didn't believe. And Dylan went so far to explain how. They didn't really believe in those FCS boys. They didn't believe in those Jackson State boys. And even so far to say, they didn't really believe in Travis and Shador. None of the guys that came. And a lot of them played. Simon Craig played. Savion Wilkinson played. And you're really looking at, like he said, whatever he was hearing, they didn't believe in their quarterback. They didn't believe. And they looking at, in a weird way, I was here at Division I. And you come from, well, not Division I. I was here at the FBS or the Power 5 level. You come from the FCS. You still had that division now, the FCS, like North Dakota State. It's lower level ball. They can't really compete. So them guys really had to prove not only to the world, but like he said on the interview, they had to prove to their own team that they belong. It's almost like the team got on a bandwagon with them. Or you were so jealous of them, or you were so invested in them failing, that you like a real hater. I'm waiting for you to mess up. I'm not going to congratulate you. I'm not going to say, oh, you legit. I'm just going to wait for you to mess up and see. See? Told you weren't that good. See? Told you couldn't maintain that. That's the last thing you want on your team. That's the last thing you want, is to be questioned by your team. And yet, that was like really a more in-depth look at what was going on. We knew it was going on, but not to what degree. But that really gave a lot of insight and further confirms what Coach Prime was saying, and further confirms what some interviews said on the documentary, on the Coach Prime documentary. I found that very interesting. But I can remember them going back and forth. And my warning would be, which we don't really see a lot of, and I don't know just because it's not shown, but if you're going to develop a team, develop a team. Forget where you came from. You're not there no more. You know, don't even talk about it. It's over. Y'all teammates now. Don't come in talking to the new guys like they not going to be on the team unless they really need to go, and they really are going. But just because they're not starting, doesn't make them not valuable. Because you don't know who you're going to need. You don't know who's going to twist an ankle, break a leg, on whatever. You don't know, because you in the trenches. And stuff happen. Who get rolled up on and have to miss the rest of the game or the next 2 games. And you gonna dog this guy out, and then y'all gotta be buddies. Y'all hanging out with them 1, 2, 3 guys with the quarterback. Now I wanna see everybody hang together. I wanna see all the line hang together. Y'all gotta go fight in the locker room, wrestle, whatever, to get some respect. You gotta rough them up, bring them up to your level. Don't put them down. So we still team. The problem last year, they said they didn't hang together. And it was clicks. Don't let no clicks develop up in here. Don't let the new line click versus the old line click. Because that's what got Colorado last year. The new Colorado versus the old Colorado. The problem was it wasn't just as many as the new Colorado people. The new Colorado people outnumbered the old Colorado because so many jumped in that portal. But you got to think about it. A lot of them were there all the way up to spring. So you building on the spring, and it really don't count. It really don't count, because at the end of the day, they're not going to be there, and there's no unity being developed. So you really only have the summer to build. So that explains a lot about, you know, that whole getting there in the spring and not having a chance to build camaraderie. You're not when the guys who are there don't plan on being there, and two, they're not really building on a good foundation. They're still bickering. They still don't trust each other. They still don't respect each other. They still don't like each other. And I just hope that won't be the case this go around. Can't afford it. But if that is, we know the signs and we will see it. And we didn't really see a lot of what you think that people typically see when people don't like each other, like fighting and with each other. But Coach Prime was really promoting them to chastise each other. But it's two sides to that, because it can either go one way or the other. They can really not like each other and fight each other, or they can go the way of not liking each other. And I hope you fail. I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna even look at you. Right? You got something on your shirt, I ain't gonna say nothing. That's a passive aggressive way about it. And it appeared we had a lot of passive aggressive people because they weren't aggressive. And they definitely wasn't defending each other. Like they said, they wasn't helping Shador off the ground. They wasn't blocking for him. They really could care less about him getting hit. That's not good. So I hope they come together as a team, not as cliques, not as the upper class, the younger class, not as offense versus defense, not as the new Colorado versus the old Colorado. We know what that looked like. Can't afford that again. But that's just me, Greg. Greg said it. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe. And I'll talk to y'all soon.